Hi everybody, welcome back to the Hobby Homestead. I am sick and I was not going to have a video out today. Today is Wednesday, a normal posting day. And I just thought I need to plant these peas. These are outrageous right now. I'm behind because I've been sick. And I thought, why not just bring the camera out and maybe I can make this a very minimal editing, like one hit video. Is that what it's called? One hit, one take. Yeah, I'm sick. A one take video where I plant some peas. I have a sick kid home with me as well. This is March. We always end up with some sort of bug in March. And I'm just thankful that I think this one's gonna maybe be limited to a week. Last year I was sick for like 6 weeks over March. So anyway, I just sat in water. This is wet. If you're new here, my name's Amy and I am homesteading, gardening in the suburbs of Southern Ontario in zone 6A, used to be 5B. So, you know, it's pretty much like the United States zone 5, more or less. And I start my peas inside because what we struggle with here is a long cold spring. So basically winter just drags on and drags on. The soil is still frozen in most places in the garden, but all of a sudden, come beginning of May, we're gonna get these warm spikes in temperature. We've had 30 degrees Celsius in May before. Like, it's really just a roller coaster. We also still get freezes in May. So what I do is cover my beds with plastic row covers. This is the material I have on hand. You could do this in cold frames if you have a nice glass cold frame as well. It pre-warms the soil. I put these covers on a couple of weeks ago now, and I lined the inside of the bed here with some cinder blocks. In the past, I've also used water jugs, like just jugs filled with water, and large rocks, and those act as heat sinks. The challenge is you need sun to make this work. And we have had just solid overcast weather, just hovering above freezing for the last week and a half. So the beds have not pre-warmed as much as I'd hoped they would. And that's always the risk you take. I start my peas usually the first week of March. This year I started them in the first week of March, and I guess I maybe should have waited this year, but you never can tell. You never can tell what your March is going to look like here. And I think it's time now. We're having our first night that is not going below freezing. And so I'm going to plant them out tonight. But I have been just taking some metrics on our beds. I've got thermometer in the soil, and a thermometer just under the plastic. Oh, I hear more swans. We get sandhill cranes, not swans. We get sandhill cranes migrating over us. I don't see them. I would show them to you if I could see them, but they must be behind the trees over there. Anyway, they're really cool. They come around this time of year. Big flocks of these giant white birds. So I have my soil thermometer right here, and it is still only 5 degrees Celsius in the soil, which is not that warm, but it's fine for peas. Let's pull the cover off completely here. So it is 7.8 degrees Celsius under this row cover right now. I think it's about 3 degrees outside at this point. When you plant under a row cover, you just have to monitor the daytime temperatures as much as like the nighttime colds, because when it does get sunny, finally we're having some sun, it could really heat up fast under a plastic row cover. And peas are much happier hovering around freezing than they are getting up to 25 degrees Celsius and like baking through this plastic, especially after they've been acclimated to the cold, and then all of a sudden you get some sunny weather and it just boils them. I'm gonna make sure I keep an eye on this. I do have a thermometer with a sensor, so I have an app on my phone, but it doesn't reach all the way out to these beds. So I use it for my deck greenhouse, just the shelving I have with hardening off seedlings. That's the other thing. You do have to harden off seedlings before you plant them outside, even if it's something like peas, if it's something cold hardy. If you started the plants inside and they went from seed to small plant inside, you have to get that foliage used to the outdoor conditions. So my favorite way to harden off, I have a whole video on hardening off from last year. I can post the link in the description. But my favorite way is to find some overcast days in your forecast and set your plants out in that overcast, mild weather. So where it's not too hot and not too cold, and maybe like 10 degrees Celsius and drizzling. That's great for things like peas and lettuces and brassicas to harden them off. And it also means that they get exposed to the outdoor elements without just burning to a crisp in those harsh UV rays. So do that for a couple hours one day, bring them back in, and then the next day bring them out for a couple hours, or 4 or 5 hours. If you're hardening off on a sunny day, definitely don't do it for more than an hour on the first day. And it's ideal if you can find a bit of shade to protect them in. And then just every day, bring them out for a little bit longer. I mean, that's a very general explanation of how to harden off. If you want more details and hear about all the options and different ways to do it, you can check out my video from last year. Just make sure you're not sticking them right outside without getting them used to the elements. When I clean out my beds from the past year, there's still probably insects sleeping in some of these hollow stems, so I just gently toss them into another garden space. It's also important when you're pre-warming your beds to make sure that any mulch that would reflect the sunlight is removed. So if I've got a bunch of leaves on this bed, like fallen leaves and also just last year's plant leaves on this bed, it's reflecting the sunlight and it doesn't heat up as fast. And so I have beds that still have a thick mat of leaves and the soil is frozen underneath that. And as soon as I remove that and leave a black layer of soil exposed with plastic over it, that black soil absorbs the heat, pulls it in through the row cover, and it heats it up so much better. So really, to pre-warm your beds, you need some sort of translucent or transparent covering that allows sunlight in. You should have something to hold on to that sun's warmth, like a heat sink, if you still go down below freezing at night. And also you want black soil to absorb the sun's light. If you're sowing pea seeds directly in the ground, I think most beginner gardeners sow too thinly, like they don't sow enough seeds. Peas do not mind being crowded together because for the most part, you're growing them on a trellis. They grow upright. I mean, I have piled peas into a channel where they're just like touching. They're just absolutely touching each other all the way along, and they've been fine. I probably don't need a hat. I just wanted to be cautious that I wasn't giving myself a chill, but it's pretty hot out. 3 degrees, it feels hot comparatively. So you can actually sow them pretty thickly. And I have about, I think in this tray, there's like 180 pea seeds that went in here. And it looks like we had really good germination. So I'm just digging some trenches and I'm gonna pop these out, put them into the trenches. I'm not gonna be overly gentle with them. They're a really hardy seedling. Got a nice handful of pea plants here. Now, variety matters a lot here. This is a dwarf variety of pea called Sugar Ann, and they don't grow that tall. They grow like 24 inches maybe, and you don't even need trellises. They sort of use each other for trellises or trellis support. If you're growing a regular climbing pea, I tend to wait a little bit longer to start those inside. This year, I forgot, and I accidentally started my regular peas at the same time. As I was soaking the seeds in water, I remembered, and it was too late at that point. They were already soaked and ready to go. So those ones are now gigantic, and it just makes transplant a little more awkward. Now the peas are the same age, right? The seedlings are the same age, but it's harder to transplant them when they're just super tall and gangly. They just grow so much faster. So I have just like a section, right? A section of peas I just ripped out of the tray, placing it in a channel. All the rabbit poop I'm encountering in here is reminding me that I have to put cages around this when the cover comes off. I find rabbits love having their nests, making little nests and having their kits in my pea plants. It's happened a couple years in a row. And it's not the bed, because I move where I put my peas, but they go for the peas. Maybe because it's dense. Protection. I have yet to have this not work out for me, where the peas just end up taking off in growth. But it's possible. We could have a terrible cold snap. I've had peas survive minus 12 Celsius at night. Like, I had a thermometer in the bed, and I know it went down that cold. And they survived, and they produced well. But you just never know when something's going to be too cold. It's really hard to predict the weather. But if that happens, worst case scenario, I sow more peas and I get a shorter harvest window. So this is what I meant by variety matters. This is the Sugar Ann Dwarf pea, which has been inside way too long already. I mean, it's been outside on my deck hardening off, but it's taken me way too long to get these into the garden. And even for a dwarf variety, they're really tall already. This, I accidentally sowed a climbing pea at the same time. And so I thought, like, oh no, these are gonna be way too big by the time I can get them out in the garden. And I only gave them like this much soil. So we'll see how they do. These poor peas. They have like 1.5 inches of soil. Their roots are all curled up around the base. I think I'm gonna slice this in half. Like that. We don't even have a trellis in here yet. This is on the spring plans. But we, I don't know when that's gonna happen. We still need to find the paneling we need for the fencing, buy it, and Kim needs the time to actually install it. This is definitely a less delicate way to do it, cutting through it, because for sure I'll cut through some of the roots that mattered, but it's not the end of the world. There's lots of peas in here. All right, so these ones are going to be about 4 or 5 feet tall, as long as they survive the weather. And we'll have a trellis on this end of the bed. The rest of them are going there. I'll probably sow more seeds here if I can find some. And then our tomatoes are going to go along this side of the bed, but that's not until the middle or late May. I'm not going to water these in. The soil is actually quite moist because when we do get rain, I open it up. And so it's fine. I don't need to drench them. I actually wanted to come back and add something to the end of this video before I wrapped it up completely. It's about an hour later, and already I've had to peel the plastic off this raised bed here, and I haven't opened up the pea bed that we just sowed yet. Yeah, I gotta open this up, or we're gonna fry our peas. It is 27. It is 27 degrees in there. That is not okay. So keep a close eye on row covers. I mean, we have just been trying to keep it around 5 or 6 degrees under those covers until now. But the sun finally came out and all of a sudden shot up. So I'm gonna go water those peas. Hopefully they're not too stressed. Hopefully I didn't just lose all that hard work. So that's a good reminder. Just monitor those row covers, because seriously, in a matter of an hour, things can change drastically. And I also wanted to add one final thing to this video. This is how I sow my peas, because I am a boundary pusher in the garden. I love pushing my climate. I like pushing my seasons so that I can grow more for longer. But you don't have to do this. If you live in pretty much any zone, you can just direct sow peas into the soil. You'll just have a shorter harvest window, unless we had a really cool summer. That's the other thing. You could sow peas when the soil warms up enough in like early to mid-April, and then we could have a cold summer and the peas won't shrivel up and die until like August. And then you just have a later harvest, but you still have a long harvest. So what I'm doing with the row covers, pre-warming the soil, starting my peas indoors, that's what I do to try to get a couple extra weeks of harvest in, banking on a really hot summer when things turn super, super hot in June and my peas start to go all crispy on me. You don't have to do that, just a way to get a few extra weeks of harvest. But of course there are risks involved, like frying your peas when the sun all of a sudden gets really hot. So be careful. And thanks for watching, and I hope you'll come and grow with us.